Deines. She's an independent filmmaker from Bangalore. She has one feature film and one short film to her credit. In both her films, she has dealt with lesbian themes. And from Mumbai now, we have Pradipta Ray. Pradipta Ray is an artist, designer, art director, and filmmaker. The youngest filmmaker from on this forum, Nakshatra.
First thing, Jeff, to you was like, you are basically graduated as a musician. You have done your, is it your doctorate or a master's in music?
Hi. I got my master's in music last June, after my first visit to India to do field work, as they say, that I met Maya. I actually met Maya in Los Angeles a few weeks after I had just returned from India, and I was planning to interview her about her performance practices as a South Asian transgender woman. And she then told me after that that she was actually planning to undergo the procedure in a few months. And so that's how my academic project sort of blossomed into this film.
Unsewn, so you made this beautifully lyrical, quiet kind of film, Present Perfect.
Yes, yes.
So did you have training in filmmaking, or how did you kind of come about doing this particular film?
You mean how I have trained? Yes,
Yeah.
I am studying film in Bangkok University. So yeah, I am studying for 3 years already. Yeah, so I learn it and I make it. Yeah.
Okay. And where did this idea for this film, Present Perfect, come to you?
Yeah, just my life. This film is based on my life.
Romney, she is basically a songwriter, but now turned filmmaker. So what made you go to the switch of making a film from being a songwriter?
Well, I still consider myself primarily a songwriter. I've had absolutely no experience in film. I haven't trained in film whatsoever. My background in terms of my studies in health science. But I wrote a song about this transgender identity that part of me identifies with. It's kind of my alter ego. So I got a lot of pleasure out of exploring that theme in the song. And I guess philosophically, I was driven to make this music video because I've always enjoyed freedom in sexual expression, and rather than just seeing people as either gay, lesbian, transgender, I like the idea of a whole continuum where we all exist somewhere along that continuum and we can celebrate our diversity. So. And
Nasha actually comes to filmmaking from a very television side. In fact, like his film, Looking for Gay Bollywood, which screened yesterday, is made for a television. So are you a regular television producer, or it's just something you just took up, or you made this film and sold it to a television channel?
In France, to get money actually from the film fund of the National Film Fund, you have to find 1/3 of the production of the total budget that comes from television. So anyway, any film, even a feature film you would do would actually be produced by a television, would actually broadcast it after it would be released in a cinema. But also documentary needs a bit less of money. So what is interesting is that having less money is easier to go and ask a television to pay for 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 euros rather than 130,000 euros or so on. So actually, for the moment, television is the good way for me to maybe go forward and be known, and then we'll look for the future.
Okay. And now to Tanvi. I mean, she is a student filmmaker like Unsewn. You have trained at a Srishti School of Design. Now, that is interesting also that, like, I mean, it's not really a filmmaking college as much as a design college. So does other inputs like design, how does it impact filmmaking? Does it kind of bring other elements into what you do?
Yeah, actually, in a way it does, because the first thing I learned in Shrishti as a design student was color theory. And I think that really comes across in filmmaking. It comes across framing. It comes in, composition comes in framing. So my art basics really helped in terms of framing and in terms of coloring the film and things like that.
I want to first ask you, I've seen a feature of yours. I've seen a short film, Love, Lust and Leela. Which did you make first? Did you make the feature film first, Deliver Me, or did you make Love, Lust and Leela? So the next question is like, I mean, if you made a feature already, how come you went for a shorter film?
Okay, I made Deliver Me. This was a script that was in my mind for like so many years, okay? And it started off with a theme on mercy killing.
Take the mic a little closer.
Yeah. So it was the theme was actually mercy killing. It was supposed to be a short film in the beginning. But then my friend and me sat down and said, why not we give a twist to the grey angle as well? Because, you know, there was something in me that was itching to come out there, you know? Really. And I was not out to my parents at that time. So that was the movie that I made, and I came out to my family at that same day I started making the movie. So this was back in 2010, and I showed it to the gay community in Bangalore, with my friends and stuff, and then they said like, Diana, why such a depressing movie? I mean, why do you make us all die in the end, and what is all this, you know, I mean, so I'm like, you're not looking at the positive side of things, you know, so they, finally, Dolly comes up to me, that's my producer, and she says, hey, I have this light thing in my mind, so why don't you make a script, but no one dies, and I'm like, okay, I mean, I can write that. So, because I've been known as this brooding personality who writes poems on death and misery and stuff like that. So, this was a challenge for me, the second short movie. And I'm glad I did that because we had a blast doing it. And with all the gay friends that I have, our community, we got together and did it.
In fact, for me, it's very exciting also because like, it was a very, very uplifting lesbian film. We don't get to see too many lesbian films which are like happy and bubbly and like, you know, humorous. For me, that was really interesting to see that, you know.
Thank you.
One of the questions I had is like, I mean, you this year actually are, you are an actor in one of the film called Vanity Box. And you also have this your directorial debut called Raat Baki, Night is Young. It's a short film.
See, actually my training has been in animation filmmaking, and as you know, it's filmmaking. The language is little different. And I've been teaching also for the last 8 years at NID on and off as a visiting faculty in animation. So, and I always wanted to, I've grown up with Bollywood, which you can see there. So, yeah, I always wanted to make a film, and this was actually a script written for UT.
I wanted to approach like this, you know, topic of LGBT films in a very different way. Like, I never want to make a very simple, happy-go-lucky film, or either like, you know, depressing film, or, you know, like other gay films are. I just wanted to approach it in a very, like, you know, different way in terms of depth. I wanted to give a lot of depth to my characters. So I researched even in terms of, you know, how deaf and dumb people, and specifically midget, who don't have any kind of sexual, you know, desires for anyone. So that desire of his, and this desire of hers, like, you know, to become a woman. So both desires, how they come together and the bond forms.
It all happened out of the blue. I never ever imagined that I will be here. 2 months back, I was not feeling sleepy, and at 3 a.m. at night, I got this idea. Actually, this short film called Logging Out, just 7 minutes, and it revolves around a young teenager of 19 years. Like most of the gay men in Indian conservative society, try their luck to find out their, you know, love of their life on social networking, and then there's a hard realization that love is not so easy to get.
Thank you so much for that particular round. We're going to have some more rapid round stuff. Okay. One of the questions which I know is going to be usually bothering most of the people, younger filmmakers, is money. You know, money, resources. Where is it coming from?
A Kickstarter campaign, which I encourage everyone to do. It's really a great platform for you know, independent artists, musicians, filmmakers, everything, basically.
First, I just asked my friend that who want to make a film. So maybe like 6, 7 friends come to me, and then we share the money together for like 20,000 baht Thai.
Not so easy to get money from a TV who was specialized in the gay community, which airs only LGBT programs. For some of the movies I made before, also documentaries, I made one about sexual helpers for disabled people, which is happening in Switzerland. It's people think it's prostitution, but in some places in Switzerland, they think it's social work.
Thankfully for me, I didn't have to get actors because it was a documentary film, and Sneha was more than willing to be there for me and just do the film just because something that she's wanted to do all her life. So I think it was the kindness of all the people that I worked with that made me get through this film.
Yeah, and Deines as a community group coming together, so I saw that, you know.
That's the second one. The first one is totally, yeah. The first one, I had approached a couple of people, but the minute they saw it's gay themed and stuff, they said like, why do you have to do this? I mean, why don't you change this in that, you know, two women kissing, I don't think it's, you know, acceptable and those kind of stuff. So then finally I got disheartened, but then I realized that I had put aside some money. It was supposed to be my life savings.
Is it zero budget or you have to spend some money somewhere?
Completely zero, and the light bill my dad paid, that's all.
But what about editing?
Editing is I've done myself. Everything is just the guy who had playing the protagonist and asking me the nude pics. He's my brother who has a chat, and all this one-man show, nothing else.
Okay, you asked your brother to be that guy?
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool.